Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get into some things that kind of started my enjoyment being on YouTube, were knife videos and things around knives, things like Blade HQ, Knife Center, some other ones that I just really enjoyed. And so I started looking out there for some different knife companies that I liked, and some of it you've seen before, but some of these newer ones have kind of gone back to the old or traditional style knives of bolsters and micarta handles and pinned handles, or micarta scales, or different type of material or bone, whatever it may be. And so I actually really like those kind of knives. I think they look sweet. Are they good for everyday use? That's up to the user. But I found RoseCraft Blades, as you can see here, RoseCraft Blades, and ordered a couple knives from them. I felt like they were reasonably priced for what I saw, and I think at the end, some of the steels I really like are like D2. I really like their working steels. I use them in other knives, like the SOG Terminus XR has D2 steel, and so I do like D2 steel. I think it's been fine for me. I use it on the job, and just used it the other day, that knife on a tow rig to cut off different things. And so I definitely think it is a viable steel for everyday use. It's not a super steel, but it works great. So these knives, what drew me to them were the traditional look and the steel. So why don't we go ahead and take a look. These three knives came in a cardboard box, and inside the cardboard box had a Jolly Rancher, thanks RoseCraft, and actually a pretty well made sticker. So let's get into it. This will just be one longer video because we do have three knives to take a look at. You can skip ahead. I just ask that you do watch the whole thing and take a look at all the knives with me. So let's just go ahead and grab the one closest to us. This one is the RoseCraft Little Riverbend Skinner. RoseCraft Little Riverbend Skinner, and it is micarta. There we kind of a neat packaging. Open it up. I'm knocking it all over. It is nicely shoved in there. And look at that. Look at that shield right away. That micarta kind of has like a, because it is same thing as like a carbon fiber, but that black and gray look kind of has a carbon fiber look to me. I don't know if you can hear that, but my first detent, and it sounds pretty awesome. And it grind on there. There's a little bit of oil keeping her clean. Now RoseCraft Blades is a American company, but they do source their dealings right now in China. Look how nice that back spring there is. Very nice. If you kind of look at it, look at the fitment. I've already got, because there's a little bit of oil in there, you got some fingerprints all over. Should be wearing white gloves or some white gloves. But the fitment of the scales, there's a little bit of something there. You can glisten in the light. It is rough to the touch, but everything else feels very good. The pins are all ground down. They don't stick up at all. And this blade is pointy and sharp. As I was rotating around, I could feel it kind of catch on my hand a little bit. But this one here is again, the RoseCraft Blades Little Riverbend Skinner with the black micarta and the D2 steel. It's approximately 2.9 inches, so if you're in a place that needs to be under 3 inches, you could do it. And it locks up really nice and tight, and has the ability to, if you're pushing on it, get it back. You do have one catch there before it starts hitting your hands. You can choke up on it, and it's got a good grip. Definitely like that knife. So that is the first one. Let's do it like that. Push these out of the way. Let's go to the next one. This next one is the Appalachian jack. Same kind of packaging style. The one thing I like about all these, if you look, it's kind of cut out to the knife. See that? So it's not just a universal cutout. So that's kind of cool. So again, this one I did do the black Appalachian jack. I did do the black. I really like that kind of black look with the shield and the bolster. Gives me kind of that Barlow look, which I'm actually a fan of. I think that kind of gives these classical knives exactly what I like in it, is that Barlow kind of esque look. This one has definitely a pointier blade and definitely has a nice walk. So as you kind of go down the knife on this one, it does have a pry bar, and if you look at it, it looks like it's all kind of part of that back spring one piece. So if you did need to actually pry on it, whatever you could actually get under there, I don't know what you would be able to, but it definitely looks like it would be able to take it. And again, everything here is nicely ground down. The spacing, even the shield looks like it's done right and inlaid. No separation. Again, it is D2 steel. And I definitely like their logo. I think it's kind of neat looking on there. But looking at this blade, it's a very narrow, skinny blade. I think I would call this probably right at, right at 3 inches probably. Maybe just a titch over. It's got a nice little swedge cut. So this will definitely be a slicey knife. And that point is very acute, very, I don't know if you can see that very well, but it is very pointy. But everything on it just feels well built. These are the one thing that's different about these versus, like my SOGs or all the other modern folders. These pretty much are not. These are two-handed knives, both opening and closing. You might be able to close it just fine one-handed, but you definitely have a lot of tension you're going against on that. So that's the Appalachian jack. Again, kind of homage to the old jack knives. All right, so this last one is the RoseCraft Clinch River Swayback in gray. Now, I liked the gray look and the black look, and again, going back to that kind of more of a traditional look. That's the reason why I ordered these ones the way I did. So, box material all the same. Kind of same thing. It's cut out for the knife. And look at that. I don't know if you can see the difference, but you have this kind of black, just Micarta. And then this has kind of like a wood, or not wood, excuse me, like a bone look. And very much like a hawkbill cut or some types of sheep foot. But then if you look at the shape, has kind of a sway to the handle. Allows you to really kind of grip it. And for me, it fits just nice in the hand. You can hold it like that, or you can choke up into the finger choil and really have a good grip on your working tip, which is also very acute, very pointy. And if you look at the blade itself, it is very straight. So I'll get rid of all these little pieces of paper. I'm getting oily. It looks like it's going to be able to stand the test of sitting around before it gets put out. You look at this one, I feel like there is a little bit of like separation in the handle here. It's not quite as smooth as the last two. And definitely on this side, you see how there's a lot more separation here going down the handle, and there isn't on this side. It does not want to move, so that's good. But that things will, junk and stuff will get into that handle and can make it kind of hard to keep clean. These most of these knives range from $40 to $50. They're not astronomically expensive for what they are. A nice D2 blade, good craftsmanship overall, and just a really traditional knife. Again, this one is the RoseCraft Blades Clinch River Swayback smoked gray bone, and you can get these secondhand. You can get them so that if they have some blemishes, like this might be considered secondhand. I don't know with that separation. I did not buy it as a secondhand, but they might have, if they were looking at that one, might have considered it a secondhand. But nonetheless, overall, the craftsmanship looks really good for being a U.S. derived company with Chinese built blades. Supposedly they're trying to get here with their own facility. But if you look at each one of these knives, they all have pretty close to similar, you know, right around that 3-inch, maybe just over. This is like a 3 1/4 right here, or just under 3 1/4. All the blades look very sharp, very well built, good steel, and very cute tips. Look like they're ready to be used. Well, I hope you liked the video. Give RoseCraft Blades a chance. They did not provide these for me. I bought all 3 of these on my own money. I'd ask that you give them a chance though, because they are kind of a neat traditional blade for a good price, and I definitely think they are worth the money overall. We'll have to see how they take an abuse, but you know, these more traditional knives aren't really meant to be, you do have a pry bar in one of them, but they're meant to do different tasks than maybe your tactical knife. And so I think to have one of these in your pocket and carry it and pass it down wouldn't be such a bad idea. Well guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you stay connected, stay informed. See you on the next one.